Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me this morning. My name is Anne. You might hear my dog clicking around in the background. Here she comes. Her name is Violet. Thanks for joining me for another Break for Aid for Dementia Care Partners. Today, I would love to talk to you about this little guy. You may have seen physical and occupational therapists like myself use these when we're working with people who have impaired balance. And a decrease in a person's balance is inevitable when they have when they're living with dementia. So I actually was inspired by my trip to Chicago this weekend. I was visiting my aunt who has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and some cousins. So we noticed that she was a little bit more unsteady than usual, and so I suggested one of these things for her, and I thought, well, maybe it's going to help others too. So the gait belt, and I want to preface this by saying this video is just meant to be purely educational in nature. I am not instructing you or your person or prescribing this for any specific individual, just purely educational. Because always what I recommend is if you've noticed a change in status with a person living with dementia, whether it's balance declining, cognition declining, that is an excellent time to request from the medical provider an occupational or physical therapy evaluation, or speech therapy. Let's throw that in too. So if you've had a rehab eval, but it's been a while, I'm certainly as things change, there are different techniques and different pieces of equipment that we can suggest that can make your life easier. So one of them is the gait belt, right? So there are a couple different versions out there. This is sort of what I call an old school version because I'm kind of an old OT. But also you'll see a lot of clinicians using this one, mainly because I think it's a lot easier to go to adjust the size when you're going in between patients or in between clients. The other kind of gait belt you've probably seen is sort of a thicker belt, and it actually has handles on it too. So I actually think this is a better option when you're only using it on one person. It just provides a little bit more grip with those handles. So two different options. So the reason why we want to use a gait belt is to assist a person who we notice has a decline in their balance. So it's really designed to fit around a person's waist. And if you notice, the waist is right at our center of gravity. So a gait belt is designed to correct maybe a small loss of balance as a person is walking. It also can help us give us a little bit of a grip when a person is going from a sit to stand position, maybe off the toilet, off a bed, off a chair. They might need just a little bit of an oomph from us to help go from sitting to standing. So those are the two kind of places that I see. I recommend or I see gait belts being used for, been very beneficial. So how do we put something like this on? So this is, again, the old school version, and you're always going to want to put on or size the gait belt when your person is in standing, because if you put it on in sitting, it's inevitably going to loosen up when our trunk elongates and the person stands. It'll end up kind of falling down a little bit, and you're not going to have a good grip. It's really going to be ineffective. So to just stand up here. So you're going to put the gait belt, wrap it around their waist. I probably would take a jacket off, but just for time's sake, if you're using an old school version like this, you're going to insert the strap through the teeth side first. You can do it the other way, but it doesn't adjust very well. And then you're going to put it on your person, and it's going to fit pretty snugly. Make sure you don't have any twists. It's going to fit pretty snugly. You certainly don't want it to be uncomfortable for them, but you're going to should be able to see it. Again, jacket not working, not helpful. But you're going to be able to fit maybe about 2 fingers through there. Okay, and then you're going to tighten it. And the handle versions just have a different kind of buckle tightening mechanism that are pretty self-explanatory. So I feel like this is still a little loose on me. So I'm actually going to, just really adjust it and tighten it a little bit more. Sometimes you'll find you have a little excess belt that you can kind of just loop through if that's more comfortable for you and your person. And you're really going to be, see a terrible example, and I'm holding on to them here. So as they're walking, if they lose their balance a little bit, just kind of a gentle pressure can pull them the other way. We certainly don't want to pull people along with the use of the gait belt, because since the belt is at your center of gravity, too forceful of a pull can pull them right off their feet, right? So this is another reason why I think it's nice to have a therapist evaluate and show you how to use this, because not only are they working with your person, but caregiver training is an essential component of a therapist's work. So they can show you how to use this, watch your technique, and just suggest modifications to help this be more safe. Contraindications. So certainly we don't want to use a gait belt with somebody who has a compression fracture in their spine, let's say, or an abdominal surgery, or back surgery, or something like that. Again, another reason to consult a professional. And I think that is all I wanted to say about the gait belt. So the only other thing is, if you're finding your person maybe saying, oh, we could use that, there probably are a whole bunch of other things that could be beneficial too if you don't have them already. For sure, maybe an assessment to determine if a mobility device like a walker would be helpful, on how to fit the walker, how to use the walker safely and properly, shower chairs, grab bars, modifications for stairs, all these things that can help you prevent a fall for your person, and also help you be safer as a caregiver, so you're not over twisting, over bending, tweaking your back, your arms as well. So if you find yourself holding on to your person, pulling them up by the arms, which can eventually lead to an injury, think about asking for PTOT, and think about maybe the need for a gait belt. Okay, guys. So that is all I have for you today. I think what I'm going to do, since I was on vacation and I'm a little bit short on time this morning, I actually like to replay a meditation for you, one of the ones that I really like. You may have heard this one before, but I think it's worth a repeat. So enjoy your day, enjoy the meditation, and I'll see you next time. During this meditation, I'd like to introduce you to Thich Nhat Hanh, who was a Buddhist monk who lived in contemporary times and helped introduce the Western world to some of the mindfulness practices that have become so popular today. One of Thich's simple but extremely effective practices was bringing awareness to the breath and using breath to help us detach from all the thoughts going through our minds and refocus attention on the present moment. The following is an example of one of his basic teachings. With your in-breath, say to yourself, breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. And with the out-breath, say to yourself, breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. And breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. You can adapt this language any way that resonates with you. For example, I'm aware of my in-breath. I'm aware of my out-breath. I'm aware of my in-breath. I'm aware of my out-breath. Or, breathing in, I restore my energy. Breathing out, I release all tension. Spend the next few moments just bringing your attention to your breath in this way. Thich reminds us in a delightful way that we have an appointment with the present moment, our personal appointment with stillness. When we become still, we often become more aware of the beauty and the safety of the present moment. Breathing in, I notice the touch of the breeze against my skin. Breathing out, I'm thankful for the breeze. Breathing in, I become aware of my hands. Breathing out, I am thankful for all that my hands are capable of doing. Breathing in, I notice my eyes. Breathing out, I am thankful for the beauty of the world around me. Breathing in, I become aware of my legs. Breathing out, I am thankful for their strength and support. When we participate in this simple practice, Thich says that our mind and our body become one. In a sense, we harmonize our whole being. Enjoy the sensation of peace and stability. Enjoy this moment of stillness and all it offers. Receive it with gratitude and knowingness that it's possible to return to this peaceful space by remembering this. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. This morning, instead of regrouping together, I'd like you to stay in this present moment as long as you like, and the music will continue on a little longer. Linger here in this peaceful place of respite for as long as you're able, and I'll see you next time.